What's good, YouTube? It's Ray Jarrell. So in today's video, I want to show you guys what I believe is the best pistol spread formation in Madden 22. So if you enjoyed this video, go drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn on post notifications on. So if you guys don't remember, I actually did drop a pistol spread mini scheme. I did a part 1 and part 2, but I was inside of the running gun playbook. I'm more than positive it was the running gun, and I actually wanted to bring you guys a different playbook. So if you guys wanted to have like a custom playbook or something like that, you can actually have this playbook, which I think is actually second best. So I still think running gun is the best pistol spread, but this Cardinals playbook has a really nice pistol spread. So again, I'm in the Cardinals playbook, and it's also a similar one in the Ravens, but I think the Cardinals has a little bit better of a basically, I believe the Cardinals have a little bit better passing plays, and also they do have this one run play that I really love, which I'm gonna touch on a little bit in this video. So in this video, I'm gonna show you guys 2 plays that I never touched on as far as pistol spread, and then part 2 I'll probably do a gameplay showing you with the Cardinals playbook. Now, also, you do not need any kind of hot route master or any type of route chems to make this offense work. I was simply just picking the Bucks because they have 4 good receivers already. That was legit the only reason why I even chose the Bucks. So, as far as personnel, you can put wherever you want, anywhere. Now, I highly suggest you put a fast receiver right here because it's a nice couple plays that we can actually create some nice matchups. And also, it does help to have really good slot receivers, as you're going to see here in a second. But now, as far as plays I really love, I love the jet touch pass. I love the jet pass fake zone. It all depends on what variation of defense they're running. Now the zone alert is actually a really nice run play as well. But the halfback stretch, I really love the stretch. It's going to do great against your 3-4 odds show blitz meta, and it's going to do good against the mid blitz style. So anytime they crowd the line of scrimmage, this run normally works great. This little stretch. Now, the plays I'm going to be talking about in today's video is going to be wide corner and Z under, which are really good plays. You can actually just run this, just this 2-play scheme and just really dominate, but they have a lot of good plays. They have the PA deep end, they have, the wide shallow cross, they have this little slot outside, which has a really nice little skinny post route. They have wide cross, which is a really nice cross, as you guys know. So it's a really nice playbook, honestly. So first, I'm going to start off in Z under, then we're going to talk about wide corner. So now, as far as defense goes, I'm just going to show you guys in 3-3-5 odd, just because. Now, for personnel for this, I took out the great defensive line because I don't want to get screamed at, so I got in some garbage people here, and also have a garbage person here, so in case this guy's rushing. But other than that, we have speed over here at the linebacker position, and also, of course, you guys know, have speed all around in the secondary because it is the Packers. So now, as far as coverages I'm showing you, I'm going to show you guys cover 3, cover 2, cover 4 drop, and we'll slightly talk about man coverage. But this is mainly zone based gear, this video, but I'll show you how it fares against man. So let's go on and get started in cover 3, man. So the good thing about this offense is that for one, so what I would say, you want to run this to the hash that you want to attack. So like if I want to use this play, I'll run it to the left hash with this setup, but if I flip the play, then I would flip it because it's on this hash mark, which that'll make perfect sense here in a second. So let's go ahead and move it to the left hash so I can kind of explain to what we're doing. So essentially the setup, also you want to make sure you always put this running back on a route, because if you don't, notice how I can't motion anybody. So notice I'm clicking it and nothing's happening. That's because the running back is actually on this auto route, which won't let you motion anybody. So if you just put them on something like a swing route, I like to put them on a swing route to the wide side. And so now what you're going to be able to do is actually motion this receiver, which is going to be part of our setup. So what you want to do from here, you want to take X, put them on a streak, and then you want to take circle and put them on a drag. And lastly, you want to take square and actually put him on a curl route. So we're going to have a nice little flood route to the right side. So basically, if the user shoots to the right side, we're actually going to throw this drag route. Now, if this drag route develops, a lot of times you can have this drag route on the sideline, because a lot of times this curl route here will actually hold that purple defender. So if they don't have a hard flat, that circle route is normally going to get open right up around this area right here where that circle route will get open, the little drag route. So we play cover 3, and I'm going to spy this guy, but when you're actually playing, you'd actually just want to double team that guy just like that, but I'm not worrying about that. So this is the setup right here. Now, if they have zone drops off, they're going to get like a little zone chuck animation, and that's going to slightly mess up the timing, but you could definitely still fit that in there. I want you guys to be aware of that. Now, if they're playing cover 3, they're playing cover 3, then I would suggest you run a different variation. But first and foremost, I just want to show you the same thing again, because I want to show you that circle read does get open, and I want to show you the variation that the variation also does get open as well. So let's go inside the ball so I can show you. Now, you can tell circle's just screaming wide open. I threw it late on purpose just so you can understand that if the user is not there, they're gonna have to give up that dot. So no matter which hook zone they're on, they're gonna have to give that up. So if they're right here on this guy right here, normally what's gonna happen is they're actually going to follow this corner route, which is gonna again what open up this right here, right? So if they don't, then a lot of times you can still have this throw right here. You can tell this is where the purple is. Notice how the purple is going to get glitched kind of right here, and that's going to allow us to have this throw right here. Now the hook zones will come down, but they won't play it all the way. So that's why you're able to have this much time to throw the ball. But I just want to make sure I did show you that the circle route does get open. But if they're playing cover 3 and they're pressing you, so actually, you know what? First, you know what? Let's take this a step further. Because sometimes I don't tell you guys things I think you guys might already know, but I want to do a better job at making sure I fully explain something without it being too long of a video. So let's just pretend X is backed off. So you might be saying, or let's say it over the top. You might be saying, "Real, why is that?" Because I want to kind of simulate a zone drop defense. So what you're going to notice is that this guy is not going to press now. So if they're playing any style of zone drop defense, then I actually love this setup right here too. So watch how triangle is going to open up, just, you know, completely open up. And that's because that zone chuck didn't happen because they zone drop. You know, this is just hypothetically saying if they zone drop. So you guys can tell this guy right here, you know, he didn't press obviously. So let's just pretend like, you know, maybe he zone dropped wrong or something like that. Or if he did zone drop, then what? Actually, we would just hit this running back route coming up the field right here, throw him open, you know, get a nice couple yards right there. But you could still tell, no matter what, even though we shaded over the top, this drag route still got open. Now, don't mind that. That's a spy. But anyways, you can still throw that drag route. You can tell the purple's still going to get sucked down right here. So that's kind of how you make that 1-2 read. Now, one thing I did want to say is that if for some reason, you know, they're not turning zone drops on and they're playing just a standard stock cover 3/cover 4 drop, you could take circle, put him on a streak. You could take X, put him on a drag, square on a curl route. You could run it just like this. Now what's going to happen is that slot receiver or the slot cornerback can't press our streak. So basically, actually I'm going to press 2 just so you can understand too. So now what's going to happen here is that we'll have triangle just get open regardless, you know. So basically you just want to wait, and then you can actually just throw it on like a downward pass angle. And normally it's not like that. Normally you can fit it in there even a lot better than that. I just got a terrible pass animation. So I'll show you that again here. Let's go ahead and press. We'll put circle on the streak, X on the drag, square on the curl out just like this. And then normally, like I said, you want to kind of drift this way, and then you can kind of throw it down and outside to the sideline. And you can tell Jared's just making a play, but normally that's going to be wide open in the games regardless. But that's the second variation that you can use. But moving forward, because there's a lot I want to talk about, but I have to make sure I take the time, because I notice if I don't take the time, I still have people comment and say, why didn't you show this? Why didn't you show that? And it's because I just try to hopefully assume that you guys might understand it already. So I, you know, but it's like I definitely don't mind, you know, drop you guys some knowledge on what I know. So, but this by far is my favorite setup right here for all coverages, and I want to go ahead and show you that here. So I backed off the cornerback just to simulate a zone drop style defense, but basically you're going to make a read between R1 and triangle. But a lot of times you're going to be able to have triangle if they're not dropping their zones at like 25, but if they are, then you're going to have that swing route. But quickly, I still want to show you that even if they play cover 2 style with vertical hooks out there, this backside drag is still money because of this route right here. It's going to push back that vertical hook. So if the user is right here, what's going to happen? Well, I think that's the mid read. Actually, is that the mid read? Yeah, that's the mid read. So you can tell even if that's the mid read, it still won't play this route. And the vertical hook right here, he's going to have to respect this route right here. So if this is the user, he has to make a choice right now. Do I guard the running back or do I guard this route right here? And if he zone drop this guy far enough, he still has to make an option, like a choice. Do I want to guard, you know, this route right here, or do I want to guard the running back? That's normally how that works. If they put a spy, you just want to do exactly what I did, and you want to hit this pass right here, and you know, maybe try to juke up, or you know, put some stick work, get about 5-6 yards off of that. So that's pretty much how you want to do that, and that's why I said that this combo is just really nice. So let's go to cover 4 drop, and it's going to be pretty much the same thing in cover 4 drop as cover 3. So you can run it this way if you want to, or you can use the other variation, just, you know, whichever one is working better for you in the game, because sometimes it really just depends. I can't explain any better than that. Sometimes it just depends. But triangle is going to definitely get over. You can tell you can throw a dot right there, and boom, you know, you can move the ball down the field. Now you can also run this in the middle of the field. Now, for example, if you're on the right hash mark, and it wouldn't make sense to run this to the boundary, right? So you never want to run a flood concept to the short side. So what we can do, we can flip the play just like I said. You see, we flipped it, and now what we'll do is take triangle, put him on a streak. We'll take square, put him on a drag, and then we'll swing our running back to the wide side, take him, motion him over. And that's why I said that this offense is really nice, because now we could just run, you know, it straight to the backside and make a, you know, a nice backside read. And you can tell R1, you can still have that too. Now that's only if there's zone drop. I just threw it because I seen the pressure coming. But just giving you an example, you know, like you can flip the offense at any time. That's what's cool about this. So I'm gonna go ahead and move it back just so I can talk about basically man coverage with what I was going over. But I wanted to make sure I took the time to actually tell you guys, like, yeah, you know, don't be scared to run it that way. Now, versus man coverage. Now, my pistol spread, normally there's a lot of other plays you can run that attack man coverage, because this post is not a man beating post, and this corner out is not a man beating corner out. So really, this play is pretty much designed for the zone coverage. So I'm not even really gonna waste my time on man coverage, because it just don't run this particular one. So if they play man coverage, you want to run wide corner. So with wide corner, this route right here is a deep beating post route that can beat man coverage. We have a zig route that can beat man coverage. We have this post right here, or this corner route that's a man beating post, a corner route. Man beating corner route, if I can get my words right. And we have a slant also, as you guys know, could beat man. So you could technically run this play stock if you wanted to. So you could put this guy on like a Texas route, not Texas. You could put him on an option route. Or if you have Hot Route Masters running back apprentice, you can put him on a Texas too if you want. But basically, you could technically run it just like this and keep flipping it, you know. But I want to talk about zone and I'll talk about man at the end. So anyways, versus zone coverage, because that's what we're talking about here. So let's go back to cover 3. So if any type of zones, it don't matter what you want to do, you want to still do the same motion. That's why I did this scheme like this, because it's literally the same motion. But what's cool about this motion, watch what happens with the zig route. So we're going to motion the zig route over, and it's actually going to stay. It's not going to flip. So it's going to turn into like an inside breaking zig route, which is actually really, really nice. And what you'll do from here, you'll take a circle, put them on a streak, and then you'll take X, and you want to smart route his route to make it ran a little deeper. Notice how much deeper it's ran now. And I like to take R1 and put them on a swing route to that side too. So basically, it looks the same, but it's going to be ran completely different, and the user is going to be kind of hesitant. So normally they're going to get held up on triangle, and we're going to make this flood concept read between X and R1. And then also we have a backside post just in case they play cover 2, which I'll talk about here in a second, because you can actually get a nice cover 2 beater. But watch X. So you want to wait, and then you want to throw him up the field just like that. They have to zone drop to actually guard that, and it's really, really nice. And this backside zig route is going to hold that user pretty much every single time, honestly. So let me just go ahead and show you that. So what's going to happen is a lot of times he's going to think they're doing a zig route to the other side and going to come back inside, and he's going to kind of be right here, and he's going to kind of lurk it for half a second. And by that time, we're actually going to be making this high-low between X and R1. So I never had a user actually run and bait unless I just ran this play over and over again, because of the great spacing route that it creates. So anyways, let's go and keep moving forward though. So cover 2. So basically there's a cover 2 beater out of this. I'm gonna press, because I know last time I didn't press, and I don't want you guys saying like, oh, it must not work if you press with cover 2. So now let's go to Y corner, and then let's do the same setup. Circle on the streak. Let's smart route X's route just like this. Take R1, put him on a swing route, motion over our zig. Now what's cool about this, especially if they have zone drops off, that square route is going to get open immediately. But if they have zone drops on, it's kind of a hit or miss sometimes, just because of how Madden does. But right here, nobody pressed, and what you're going to be able to do is actually split those safeties right there to get the potential one-play touchdown, which is really cool. Really, really nice sleeper cover 2 beater right there. But also we have this corner route that does get open as well, which I'll go ahead and show you if they have enough time. So what you're going to be able to do is just kind of wait, and then when he drops off, a lot of times you can throw this ball, or if you want to, you can actually just kind of make this read right here. That's normally what I love to do too, versus cover 2. So if you want to know me personally versus cover 2, I'll look at this linebacker to see if he's dropping in the middle third. If he's not, then I'm 10 out of 10 going to throw this ball, because the user's not going to go there. A lot of times the user's going to do exactly what you see this guy do right here. They're going to kind of look for something to cover, something breaking across the middle, and then by the time they realize this post route's coming, a lot of times they're going to be trailing, and you're going to have a one-play touchdown. So if the user is up there, if you could picture that, let's pretend the user is smart. He goes user it, right? So you're going to make this high-low right here between this guy and this guy. You can tell both of those are going to get wide open, because the vertical hook has to play this little gap right here by the post route, or they're going to give that up all day. So if they zone drop this guy to like 5 yards for some reason, you would literally be able to hit this post route right off the break every single time, which they wouldn't do that. So like I said, it's still a high-low between these two guys right there at worst case scenario. That's literally worst case scenario though, is a high-low right there. So now I will show you that cover 2. It can so if they're playing some type of zone drop and they're not zone dropping correctly, you definitely can have that little corner route. It's not as good, honestly, but because it's such a sharp, it's actually a man beating corner route, which is why it's not as good. It's not a zone beating one. but it still is able to beat zone. So I'll just kind of show you here. You just want to kind of wait, and then I actually didn't even time it right. I should have waited a little longer, but you can tell it's not something that's just open versus cover 2. It's just if they zone drop wrong or something. But you really always want to throw that R1 read, which I'll show you that here right now. So let's go back to cover 2. I'm gonna go ahead and press this time. No, let's back off cover. Let's do the same thing we did last time. So let's go back to wide corner, take your running back, and all I'm doing is putting them on a swing right, by the way. So I'm putting them on swing right. That's all I'm doing. Motion them over. Want a smart route, X's route, go ahead and put a circle on a streak. And then with this particular route concept, R1 is normally going to get wide open. You can tell you could go and kind of pass lead that up, and then right there you can gain literally about 5-6 yards, maybe sometimes 7, depending on what happens. So it's really a nice dink and dunk type of scheme right there. So anyways, let's talk about cover 4 drop, because it's going to be the same thing with cover 4 drop as it was with cover 3. So let's go back to wide corner and go and motion them across. Smart route, route for X, go ahead and take circle, put them on a streak. And then sometimes, depending on what they're doing, you can have triangle. Is going to be pretty much the same thing though. So let me just go and show you that. So notice how now we can actually have X right there in that little gap. So it's just going to make it really, really tough on that user to actually go ahead and try to user every single thing. So last thing I'll talk about is man coverage now to be the video, but first I want to just kind of show you the zig route. Like I said, the zig route is really good. Now the only bad thing is that if they user this guy right here, normally they can kind of take the scheme this particular play away if they user this hook curl right here, because what's going to happen is a lot of times they're going to follow that. They're going to actually take their user and run with that. But if they don't zone drop correctly, or if they don't play the hard flat, then you can actually just dump this right here to your running back. If you notice that the user is going to take that, you'll just go ahead and take your 3, 4, 5 yards, and you can actually just turn around and bomb cover 4 drop, because you can bomb cover 4 drop out of this playbook right here, which I probably might show you guys in gameplay, or if I don't, I'll show you in a part 2. But I actually put out something on it, but I could re-talk about it if you guys would like that better. So anyways, yeah, like I said, if they want to play, there's always answers to what they're doing. You know, you just got to figure out what they're doing, and you know, then you have the answers to it a lot of times. So last thing I will talk about is man coverage with this particular play, wide corner, because there's a lot you can do. Technically, you can run this play stock, and I would just if I wanted to run this play stock, I would actually, like I said, I would smart route X's route, and I would take R1 and actually put him on an option route. So in man coverage, this option route turns into the little out-breaking route that normally wins against man coverage if you have a good matchup. Zigs are going to beat man coverage. Slants is going to beat, you know, can beat man coverage. It all depends on who you have. Now, sometimes I may just motion this guy right here and then motion him across. Sometimes, so I may do a setup like this where it's actually like a little spacing, and it just depends. So sometimes you see you can have square too. But if I motion a guy across on a slant, I'm not going to put the running back on the option route. Didn't want to make sure I mentioned, I forgot to actually change his route. So let me go ahead and show you that. So basically, let's go back to wide corner. So if I put that guy on a slant, like a backside slant, then what I'm going to do is actually take my running back and actually put him on a swing route. So that way they don't run into each other and we still have great spacing. So at this point, I'll be looking at that corner route, and then I will look at that slant, and then I would actually look at that backside post, if that makes sense. So, you know, X, I will look at that, and then sometimes you can actually have square right there. It just depends on who's running that route, honestly. If you get a good win animation or not, that's normally what that depends on with this particular setup. But basically what the user's going to have to do, he's going to have to decide if they're not playing purples, by the way. So if you notice they're just playing straight up man coverage, no purples, normally the user's going to have to be right here on this backside slant normally. And then you have like a 1-2 read, basically. You read this side, or you'll read this side right here. If he gets like a little win animation, you could tell safety's going to widen because of this post route, well, corner route, excuse me. And then the deep half is, of course, not going to be able to play it. So it's literally just up to these two players, and normally you just have to just, you know, if you get a win animation, throw it. If you don't, you don't. You know, right here we threw it, got the little win animation. That's all we're looking for, you know. So, and also, if they shade over the top, zig route's going to be excellent versus it. Now, if you want kind of a different variation too, and also don't forget, you can actually flip the play too with no tail at all, so don't forget about that. So anyways, let's take the running back still. We could put him on a swing, we could take him, motion him across, we could smart route his route just like this. And you could technically run it this way too, but just sometimes you have to watch out for circle. Circle will actually catch up the triangle. So what I would probably do is take circle, put him on an in route, and I would smart route his in route, and I would run it just like this. You can take all and actually put him on an option route for man coverage, and then what you're going to have happen is just like basically an inside read. You see triangle's going to get open. A lot of times users going to go over there and try to guard triangle, and then you can actually throw that backside in route. That's kind of like how I like to do that a lot of times too, because a lot of times users are going to fully commit to that triangle route. And also you can actually still look over the top too, as well. As you can tell right here, you can technically look over the top and see if you have that. So a lot of times the user is going to kind of follow this route. He's going to kind of like, basically what the user a lot of times is going to do is kind of just follow this for half a second, and then they'll come back and try to lurk this. And a lot of times you can, if you have a good matchup, you can lowball this right here. But Jeer's all over that, of course. But a lot of times you'll have this throw right here because the user will be either A right here or he'll be right here most of the time. And of course, if they're not zone dropping right, or if you have a great matchup, you can have this. But that time they bagged it, but it's just a good read to look at. But and also the running back route, you can tell you can actually throw that out there too. So you have a lot basically. You'll be just pretty much flooding the field with that point with nothing but man beating routes out there. But anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I do hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm Ray Jarrell, and I'm out.